Well, I definitely think it's interesting this push now for people to start decriminalizing these drugs. I think it's interesting seeing this play out, especially with Oregon and how that worked, and now with you guys doing this here. I think I think it's important. I think it's really important.
It shows that, it shouldn't be federally illegal. This is going to help. And once these substances do become not Schedule 1, then we'll be able to actually do research. It blew my mind being a chemist at HSU. We were never allowed to use cannabis on campus because it's federally illegal. Like we have all the biomass we need here to do any kind of study that we want on cannabis, but no, you're not allowed to because it's federally illegal. So once that is like taking off, then Humboldt State can start having, actual studies and figure out dosages or like, different products that can actually help people for marijuana or other substances that are Schedule 1. And yeah, it's kind of caused that kind of like brick wall, kind of where you just crash into that. You can't get FDA approval, you can't get funding for it.
And then it never progresses.
And then it never
And
progresses.
we find ourselves in the same spot 50 years from now. Like, that's the saddest thing. I mean, we all accept that people are adults. Like, when you're an adult, you get to make decisions for yourself. And we strip that away with drug use.
Yep.
But we don't do that. We allow anybody, if you're 18, to get a driver's license as long as you pass this test. There are people who should not be driving. I'm sure we've all seen them.
Yep.
But they get to drive. If you're 18, you can buy a gun, which I think is good. I think everybody should have guns. I think guns are you're right.
Yeah.
But I also think that, use of whatever substance you want, as long as you're not hurting other people, that's when it becomes a problem.
I
like
agree.
if you're
That's
on
a big
bath
one.
salts and hurting someone, then it's like, okay, we gotta stop that.
Yeah, I actually don't know much about bath salts, but I met someone one time who had taken them, and he said that as long as it's pure, you don't go insane. So that would be another good thing for. I mean,
That's a
again,
scary thought, though.
Again,
As long
I
as
don't
it's
know.
pure.
Something I would.
The purer
I don't
the
want to
better.
mess
Yeah,
around
right?
with it. Like the stories I've heard, and I would not want to mess around with it. But that's like another thing with decriminalization and potential legalization in the future is people do get clean things, clean substances that they're putting into their bodies, and yeah.
They've made it harder and harder to make it pure,
That's
like,
the crazy thing, right?
like,
is everything's cut with like fentanyl.
me and my
now.
friends, like, we've tested some of the cocaine that was going around just for shits and giggles. I do not fuck with that substance, but we tested it and it was mostly meth. So now it was like every time I see my friends or anybody around me doing it, I'm like, that's probably a meth batch. And like, of course they don't care, but like, it's just kind of crazy how people will put anything up their nose, and if it's called cocaine, they'll do it and just believe and hope that it's not fentanyl, like you're saying.
But you just don't know.
You
I mean,
don't know.
for the average person who is not a chemist or who doesn't have testing equipment, you get something off the street and you're just hoping that you're going to do it and you're going to be okay,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize until, starting to talk with people about this is that, a lot of the ODs and a lot of these deaths aren't from the drug necessarily. It's from these, rat poison that it's cut with.
It's
or
the
fentanyl.
synergistic effect between different drugs.
And people are just cutting it just to make more of a profit. Like these,
you only need 0.1 of fentanyl to overdose,
which is
like a
insane.
grain of salt,
Yeah.
or
And that's all it takes. And if we legalized it, regardless of how you feel about drug use, this is my opinion, regardless of how you feel, if it was legal, it could be regulated and people wouldn't have to die unnecessarily.
Yeah.
We can address, the aspect of people hurting people or of it ruining lives. We can address that. And we could figure that out as well. But
and that label of, and this is a thing amongst many humans, if someone ODs, they deserved it.
Yeah,
Stupid
it's so
drug
wrong.
addict, that's what they deserved. And that needs to change. Like, because, again, a lot of people, like, on harmful substances, they're in pain. And what they deserve is help. Like, therapy. Just someone to help them through the pain of their childhood or whatever happened to them in their lives to get them where they are. Then other people who just want to party, they're doing coke. They deserve to die? Like, really? Like, and just taking that label off and just like relearning how to think about these substances and not demonizing people, because we have a right to explore our own consciousness in whichever way we choose to. I mean, back with psychedelics, which helps us explore our consciousness, helps us learn more about ourselves. So many humans are out there that have no idea who they are. They might think they know who they are, but they don't really, because they're not taking the time to actually really discover themselves. And these entheogens, you sit there and you see yourself, you discover who you are. And I don't know, maybe some of the beliefs you have or those things that are not kind, being able to really look at that and heal that and see the root from that. Um, like back when I didn't really like children, being able to heal that to where it's like, yeah, I love children, just their innocence and just how they find like a little string on the floor and it's like the most fascinating thing. Like they're, yeah, just awesome. But yeah,